The next stop on the road to professional food preparation, recipe adjustment. USDA recipes are developed and tested to yield both 50 and 100 servings for schools, and 25 servings and 50 servings for child care. Recipes have to be adjusted to prepare the number of servings needed for a particular day in a specific child nutrition program. Use the factor method of recipe adjustment to increase or reduce the recipe. There are 4 basic steps. Using a calculator, determine the factor to be used, convert multiple units to 1 unit, multiply each ingredient by the factor, and change the new quantities into the largest weight or measure unit. Step 1. Determine the factor to be used. The factor is a multiplier that will be used to increase or decrease the quantity of ingredients in a recipe. The factor is determined by dividing the number of servings in the needed yield by the number of servings in the recipe yield. Step 2. Before doing calculations, convert ingredient quantities that are in multiple units to 1 unit. For example, multiple units in pounds and ounces to single units of ounces, multiple units of quarts and cups to single units of cups, and so on. Step 3. Then multiply each single unit ingredient quantity by the factor to determine the ingredient quantity needed to produce the new yield. Step 4. The new quantity's amounts can be changed into the largest weight or measure unit for the total yield. For example, if the recipe makes 100 servings and 200 servings are needed, divide 200 by 100, which gives a factor of 2. Then multiply each ingredient by 2. This is an example of recipe adjustment to increase servings using the factor method. Here's another example. If the recipe makes 50 servings but only 25 servings are needed, divide 25 by 50, which gives the factor of 0.5. Then multiply each ingredient by 0.5. This is an example of recipe adjustment to decrease servings using the factor method. Note that some weights and measures in recipes are given in fractions. Because it's easier to multiply by decimals than by fractions, convert the numbers using the decimal equivalents for fractions of a unit table found in the USDA recipes and in the Food Buying Guide for Child Nutrition Programs. Using the recipe Chicken or Turkey Salad E05, let's adjust the recipe to reduce the yield from 100 to 80 servings. Divide the number of servings needed, 80, by the number of servings the recipe yields, which is 100. The answer is a multiplying factor of 0.80. Before doing further calculations, convert each ingredient that's in multiple units to 1 unit. Then, multiply each ingredient by a factor of 0.80 to calculate how much of each ingredient is needed for 80 servings. The new quantity of each ingredient can be converted into the largest weight or measure unit. This is using the factor method to reduce the recipe yield from 100 to 80 servings. The portion size will remain the same. Now, using our recipe for chicken or turkey salad E05, for example, let's adjust the recipe to increase the yield from 100 to 125 servings. Divide the number of servings needed, 125, by the number of servings the recipe yields, which is 100. The answer is a multiplying factor of 1.25. Before doing further calculations, convert each ingredient that's in multiple units to 1 unit. Next, multiply each ingredient by the factor 1.25. Now, the new quantity of each ingredient can be converted into the largest weight or measure unit. This is using the factor method to increase the recipe yield from 100 to 125 servings. The portion size will remain the same. There are also software programs that can adjust recipes. Remember, recipes may have to be adjusted to prepare the number of servings needed for a particular day in a specific child nutrition program. The methods of recipe adjustments to increase or reduce the recipe discussed in this lesson will help you prepare the right amount of food to assure there is enough for everyone without preparing more than needed.